Tom, good to catch up with you. Autosport International 2025. First of all, Happy New Year. Did you have a good one?
I think Happy New Year to yourself as well. We had a very good one. I spent it smoking meat.
Have you bought a smoker?
Yeah.
Right,
massive
okay.
one. Huge. Because bigger is better. Because it's bigger, which makes it better because it's bigger. It's massive. And I smoked, what did I smoke? I smoked some lamb, actually.
Nice.
Did a bit of lamb smoking. We've been doing all sorts. I've been lamb, we've been a good bit of chicken, some briskets, bit of short rib.
Nice.
A good bit of belly pork.
Fish and cheese, also good in a smoker.
Yeah. I'll consider that. Maybe a bit of salmon next week.
I considered a smoker because I took up making my own sausages last year. Brilliant. Not expensive to do, but absolutely brilliant.
See, I didn't know that. You never brought any along and gave me as a gift. But
no,
okay.
I brought you coffee one time.
You did bring me coffee. That was very good.
Next time I make some sausages.
What's your speciality sausage?
What's
your special sausage?
Garlic and thyme.
With thyme?
With some really good pork in there. It's fantastic. I'll bring you some. Anyway,
please do. Yeah.
Enough of this. We're
like a chili sausage.
Chili sausage, nice. We're like two old men.
Marmite. Have you ever heard of Marmite sausage?
No.
My uncle used to do Marmite sausages.
Interesting.
Quite nice.
We're like two old men sat in a cafe now.
That's exactly what's going on. In fairness, people really enjoy this sort of stuff. This is why podcasts do so well. We should do a podcast just talking about people's sausages.
Food in the paddock.
I think it's already been done. That it's a 18 plus, but I think we could do something there.
Postprandial paddock chats. That's what we want. It's the future.
The smoking podcast. The Spodcast.
I see where you're
the
going with
Spodcast.
that. We shall pick this up.
Yeah,
pick this up. Anyway, let's talk all things motor racing. The season's a few months away yet, and I know there's time before you get back in the car. You said something interesting to me as we walked in this morning, was that at the beginning of the season you have that first time you get back in the car nerves.
I hate that. It's horrible, yeah. Because every year I get scared that I can't do it anymore. And I sort of turn up to that first test because I'll be honest with you, the only thing I can do in life is smoke meat and drive around in circles. They're the only two things I'm actually quite good at. Now, if I suddenly can't drive around in circles anymore, I don't know what I'd just be eating off the barbecue. That's probably all I can really do. So it does worry me every year, but every single time I seem to be able to blag another year out of it. So hopefully, the most important part of the 2025 season, which is lap one of the first test of the year, just got to keep my fingers firmly crossed that I can still do it, and we should be all good for another year.
Absolutely. Interesting point you there, mate, because I've spoken to a couple of the drivers who are saying, I have a good income from driver coaching, and if I go racing, I can't earn money from driver coaching. And so many of the fans see the glamorous side of motorsport, but actually you've still got bills to pay and a wage to earn.
Very much so, which is why we have to be so busy doing all of our TikToks and Instagrams and all of the other bits and pieces that we have to do, because that's, as a racing driver, the value is the fact that we can drive around in circles quite quick, but actually it's not a case of driving around in circles quite quick, it's all the other stuff we have to do, which is why we've pushed the YouTube channel so much, which is why we did the 24/7 series and all of our social media stuff and everything that we do, so it helps to pay for the driving around in circles bit and helps to pay my mortgage.
How much? I'm curious. How much, therefore?
How much do I earn? That's a very personal question.
No. I was going to say how much.
Are you HMRC or something?
Not yet, but they'll be listening. How much do you therefore have to consider about living up to the brand Ingram that you've created?
I think, blowing our own trumpet, I think we've done a really good job at Team Ingram. I think we've really nailed it. But at the same time, we always want to keep going and going and going. I kind of want it to continue. Even when the day comes when I stop driving, whatever the brand may turn into or become, I'd like to keep that going for as long as I can. So I enjoy it. The nice thing is the Ingram brand is me. I'm not putting up a guard, or I'm not putting up a fence. It's genuinely me, which is quite nice. So off the back of that, we can do really authentic stuff and do some really funny stuff and do some really cool stuff with a good team around me that really help that.
Yeah. So this year we're saying goodbye to the hybrid.
We are indeed.
And we've got push to pass coming and sustainable fuels and various other little tinkering bits here and there. Your thoughts on the changes?
I think they're good. Naturally, I think the sustainable fuels bit is the biggest thing for me that's a good change. The hybrid made the racing quite entertaining. It made us as a driver have to think about other bits and pieces, but it came with the downside of having a really heavy car. And the good thing is we still have effectively the same power on a push-to-pass button that we had with hybrid, just without the extra weight of the batteries. It won't be quite as effective, it won't be quite as powerful, but actually will be pretty useful. So it'll be good. It'll be very good. costs come down slightly, weight of the car comes down slightly, which means it's more nimble. I think they're good things really. And for me, the biggest thing is pushing sustainable fuels. I think that for me has always been my bigger thing, because fundamentally, as much as we all see why we have to go to hybrid and why we have to be sustainable, it shouldn't ever affect the show. And for me, it's the show. There's a reason Goodwood is so cool, and it's because it's loud and it's because it's cool. They're on sustainable fuels. They can do it with cars from the 60s, 70s. We should be doing it in modern motorsport as well, without the detriment of the show, i.e. having to go to electric. I don't not see a value in it. Of course I see a value in electrification, but as a motorsport fan, it's the noise, it's the smells, it's the flames out the exhaust. That is the thing I really enjoy.
It's always the controversial bit, motorsport, isn't it? Because when you look at the environmental arguments and electric EV, electric vehicles and all the rest of it, I mean, the statistics seem to show that after 65,000 miles in an electric car, that's when it's, the point at which you've got to replace the battery and it doesn't become as economically friendly as you could. But motorsport's always at the very front of that, because it's the easy target for people who are very against combustion engines.
Of course, and like I say, I'm acutely aware I'm representing a very, very large automotive brand, but actually the whole idea of it, I see total value in it. I do see total value in it. Just for me, I'm a big fan of the noise. I'm a big fan of the excitement that combustion engines bring. And I see a big value in Formula E. I love the racing that Formula E does as well. It's just making sure that we're all singing from the same hymn sheet as to why we're doing it.
That's the torque that those electric engines put down is incredible.
I've been very lucky to drive one of them, and they are utterly incredible machines. But yeah, give me an engine and a high rev in RPM V8 or something else like that all day long.
No, normally at Autosport, it's filled with gossip and chat and who's going to be driving and who's what. And
have you heard about Thingy? Have you heard about so and so?
No, I've heard about his mate though.
Yeah,
and that's going to be a surprise.
I can't believe that he's going to be going there.
No, indeed,
it's incredible. Really,
that's going to raise some.
And have you heard about Dan Rowbottom?
Well, I've spoken to him, and he hasn't got anything to say yet. So no.
What can we start?
The Dan Rowbottom rumour mill.
Yeah, let's start the Dan Rowbottom. I can't believe he's doing that. It's a big change, but I think that'll suit him.
Absolutely. But we've got about half the grid.
To give context to that, he's just stood 6 foot to the left, which is why we said that. I don't think anything controversial with Dan Rowbottom's happening.
We've got about half the grid. Some of the regular faces yourself are going to be back. Obviously, we know that Ash and Dan Cam, I think, are going to be back, etc. So that front end of the grid seems a little more sorted as per. We've got some new chargers coming through as well, which I think there are announcements later here today. So what's your thought on the grid? I mean, it changes every year, doesn't it?
It does change every year.
And drivers move seats, which have been some interesting discussions behind the scenes, hasn't there?
And also you see teams coming forwards and teams dropping back as well. So it's always fascinating. The off-season is always a bit daft because no one really knows what anyone else is doing. Darryl in the 3 Series, or Darryl to 3 Series as we have to call him now, will be fast in that. You've got Bobby on the cusp of hopefully him getting a deal with WSR. You've got Colin still to say, you've still got a lot of people at BMW. But then you take the fast guys at Napa. They're going to be exactly the same. You've got Jake back in the bit. There's still going to be a lot of people in the same cars that are going to be very, very fast. But you can never rule anyone out. You've only got to see the performance that Power Max came over the winter season, the pace they had this year. You've then got Restart Racing with the Hyundais as well. There's lots of fast cars and fast teams all coming together now. Yeah. So you can never just go, we were quick last year, we'll be the same again next year. It never really works like that. So our 24 off season was good. Our 25 off season from the back of last year has been very strong, but until you get to that first qualifying session of the year, you don't know.
Big news as well in terms of sponsor, Bristol Street Motors, who you had a great relationship with, now Vertu.
Yep, so parent brand anyway, so it's a sort of a natural amalgamation, a natural change, which is going to be really, really cool. So a slightly different look to the car. The testing livery, certainly got people talking, and it means that the livery this year will look slightly different, but we'll still have the same sort of common theme that we've had in the past. So it'll be a cool looking car. But for me, cool looking cars all well and good. It's got to go fast as well.
Absolutely, and I'm sure it will do if you got yourself behind the wheel, which you will do. And on that, the team, any news on how the team's shaping up in terms of all of the drives?
Yeah, good shape. Obviously it's going to be nice that Adam is going to be joining the team. That's really, really exciting. TC back again. Just the three of us already is going to be really good. the driver in the fourth car, I don't know who it is yet. I think we're all as keen to see who that's going to be as well. But I think the team's in a good place with the commercial backing from Virtue. It's all in a really, really nice place, as well as for me personally, with all the bits and pieces we've got going on with the Ingram brand, to my personal sponsors and everything else like that. It feels like it's in a really nice place at the moment.
Good to see you, Tom. Have a cracking season. We've got Media Day to catch up on again. We have to think of something new to say. That's where we can do some more smoking
it'll
and
soon
sausage.
be here.
Absolutely.
If you wouldn't mind bringing me some garlic and thyme sausages, I'd be much appreciated.
Right, that's a done deal.
Okay.
And we'll look forward to the start of the season.
Thank you very much indeed.
Have a good one.